Many people confuse what really motivates people's actions and decisions. Every human relationship, whether it's business or romance, any kind of relationship, is based on value exchange. I think I've said this before. Life is all about value exchange. And so when I hear men in particular say how they have sacrificed, how they have put in a lot of work and effort into this job or into this female, and at the end of the day, the job fired them and the woman left them. And they say, well, it's not fair. They were not grateful for all the things I've done. Here's what you need to understand about gratitude and fairness. Gratitude and fairness, as the title say, are pipe dreams. Okay? The world doesn't operate on gratitude and fairness. You can't have a human relationship function based on gratitude or fairness. Nobody's gonna want to maintain a relationship with you, whether it's a business relationship, work relationship, or romantic relationship, just because they want to be fair to you, or just because they are grateful to what you had done in the past. That's not how human relationships work. That's not what motivates people's actions and people's behavior. People are motivated by profits. People are motivated by value. What am I going to get from doing this or that? What am I going to get from associating with this person or that person? What am I going to get from working for this boss or from being with this kind of woman? That's what motivates people's actions and decisions. It's not gratitude. It's not fairness. Okay? So maybe some of you have experienced this, but probably I experienced it many times, not many times in different situations, shall I say. So here's the thing. Imagine you are at a job, okay? And you put in all your efforts. In fact, you even sacrifice your leisurely time for putting in extra work and making sure that work is good, the work you are doing is good and perfect and everything. And at the end of the day, or at the end of the contracts, they kick you out, or they don't give you a new contracts, or they even fire you. Okay? So you might be thinking that it's unfair. All right? And you might be right. Maybe it is unfair. You might be thinking they were not grateful to what you were doing. In other words, they did not take into consideration all your sacrifices, all the work you've put in, and they were not grateful for that. And you might be right. Or maybe they were grateful and maybe they know it's not fair. But like I said, human relationships do not operate on gratitude or fairness. You can't have a business running because the boss is feeling grateful towards his employees. You can't have a romantic relationship, a functioning romantic relationship, because the woman feels that she want to be fair to her husband because in the past he had done this or that. Now, in an ideal world, that's what should happen. That's what should be. But unfortunately, we don't live in an ideal world. We don't live in the Garden of Eden. We live on Earth. And on Earth, the pragmatic reality is that all human relationships function based on value, based on what can I get or what I might lose if I stop interacting with this person or if I stop associating with this person. Now, when it comes to a romantic relationship, there is something called Briffault law. And Briffault law says that if the female doesn't benefit from her association with the male, no association would exist. In other words, if a female is not extracting some kind of value from you, she would not associate with you. He also says that past benefits provided by the male does not guarantee future association. In other words, because you were good to your woman, because you had done good things to her, you bought her stuff, you sacrificed your time and your energy, and you were a great person, and then suddenly she doesn't see value in you and she perhaps found a better deal, or I don't know what's going on, the fact that you were good to her doesn't guarantee future association. She is not going to stay with you simply because she feels grateful to what you had done or because she wants to be fair. Okay, and if you think about it, this doesn't just apply to romantic relationships. This doesn't just apply to females. It applies to every interaction, every human interaction. If the company doesn't extract value from you, if the company doesn't gain something from you, and it's not gonna lose something from cutting its association with you, then the company will not keep you. Okay? If the woman doesn't extract value from you, if she doesn't benefit from your association, and if she's not gonna lose something when she stops associating with you, then she will not associate with you. So gratitude and fairness are pipe dreams. And when you think about what you need to be doing, how to navigate through the world, you have to think in terms of power and in terms of value. What value am I bringing to the table? And what value will be taken from the table if I'm being kicked out of that table? Okay? So stop thinking in terms of gratitude, stop thinking in terms of fairness, stop thinking in terms of being good with the person. In other words, being the fun guy or the funny guy or the, how to say, someone who is easy to interact with. All of these things are good, but they are not the fuel of human relationships. If you provide zero value and if your association doesn't, if they stop associating with you, if they lose nothing when they stop associating with you, there is zero incentive for them to associate with you. And I'm talking about work relationship and romantic relationships, all of them. All human relationships are based on value exchange. What can I gain? What I might lose? Now, you might be thinking in extreme scenarios, or you might be thinking about extreme cases. For example, I don't know, soldiers, war. Why would people? I always asked myself this question when I was young. Why would anyone go to war overseas? It's not like hordes are coming to take over your house and wife and kids. No, they go overseas and they fight and they die overseas. And I always thought, why? And of course, politicians, they want you to believe that it's patriotism. They are doing this because they are patriotic. They wanna defend the country and all that kind of bullshit. But the reason why most people go into the army and they enlist themselves and they go to war, first of all, because of money. They need a job. Okay, so that's the first reason, of course. And the second reason why, for example, soldiers are, how to say, why soldiers do not give up on their team in the midst of war. Why they stay there until the end, until they die. And the only reason why is because they know if they do that, if they give up on their team in the midst of war, they will be punished back home. And that punishment is basically death, because it's an act of treachery and betrayal. So the soldier is not fighting because he is patriotically incentivized. He get into the army because he wants to get paid, and then he stays in the army because he doesn't want to lose the benefits he is getting, and also he fights to death because he knows if he doesn't die there, he's gonna die back home. So if you think about it, he's there because of a benefit that he's getting, which is money, And then he stays there because he knows if he leaves, he might lose big time. He might lose his benefits, and he might lose, not he might, he will lose his life. So this is an extreme scenario, an extreme situation where this concept or principle of what makes human relationships and human association possible is not actually gratitude. It's not all these fluffy and rosy ideals about patriotism or fairness or gratitude or duty or all of these things. Everything functions because people want value, because people don't want to lose value if they stop doing what they are doing. So, when you think about romantic relationships, think about them this way. When you think about work relationships, always think, what am I bringing to the table? And what would my boss lose if I stop doing the work or if they kick me out? And you have to make yourself invaluable. In other words, you have to make yourself impossible. You have to make other people dependent on you. You have to make them need you instead of wanting you. And of course, when they need you, they would want you. Well, not in most cases, especially in romantic relationships. Many women marry men they don't want, but they need. But the ideal situation is to be with someone or work with someone who wants you and need you. Because if they don't need you and they don't want you, they will certainly not associate with you just because of your past sacrifices or past benefits or whatever. That's not to mention, that's not to mention in terms of work and in terms of romantic relationships. In terms of work, your boss already believes that he paid you for all the work you have done. All your sacrifices, all the extra time you put in, your boss doesn't care because he didn't make you do it. Okay? You were doing it with the idea that they will recognize your sacrifices and they will take that into consideration when it comes to their decision of whether they want to keep you or not. But your boss doesn't care. And he didn't ask you to do that, and he paid you for the service you were providing. So once payment goes through, once you provide a service and you get paid for it, that's it. If there is no need for that service, if there is no value exchange, the association will cease to exist. Same way with women. Same way with women. Because you were providing her certain benefits, she was also providing you certain benefits. Once she stops seeing value in you, she's not going to stay with you just because you were good to her, because in her mind, she already paid you because she was associating with you at that time. Her association is her payment to what you were doing. So now she doesn't feel like she owe you anything. Same way with your boss or company. They don't feel like they owe you anything, and they will definitely not associate with you just because they are grateful to you or because they want to be fair to you. So keep that in mind. Gratitude and fairness are pipe dreams. They are not the motivation for human action. They are not the incentives of people's decisions. It's power and value. That's what motivates people. What can they get from associating with you? What can they lose if they stop associating with you? It's all about value. It's all about power. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, press the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you know someone who thinks this way, who thinks in terms of gratitude and fairness and complains a lot about how he's being treated unfairly, or how other people do not recognize his sacrifices and they are not grateful to what he had done, maybe you should send him this video so he can finally realize how the real world works. So yeah, until then, see you in the next video.